not sleeping. After 5 days of not sleeping, I'm a little strung out. So I take a trazodone, a Benadryl, and a THC gummy. Don't do that. It's night, September 9th, 2024. I'm rushing across the street in Singapore because I'm going to eat in a Michelin star restaurant. I rush over the median and I'm flying. Next thing I know, my spouse is pulling me off the pavement and blood is rushing out of my nose. I don't know how I fell to the ground, and to this day, I don't know what happened. The ambulance comes. The EMT puts me on the stretcher in the back. And she starts asking me all these questions, checking for a concussion. Do you feel dizzy? No. Headache? No. Nauseous? No. Oh, well, we're gonna take you to the hospital now. Wait, no, I'm thinking, no, wait a minute. I got a 3-day workshop I gotta do. I'm in a foreign country. I don't know what the hospital system is like. So I say, no, I'm fine, just bandage me up and we'll be on our way. So we go to dinner. The next morning, I put on makeup. I do my 3-day workshop. I go on to Borneo for a week of vacation. Note to self, next time, go to the hospital. So on the way home, on the airplane, I keep looking at my nose in my phone. It's a little crooked. So when I get home, I call my neighbor who's an ER doctor, and I tell him to come over and look at my nose, and he does, and he says, yeah, it's broken. No, it can't be a broken nose. I mean, I've never broken anything in my life. 2 weeks later, my life really turns upside down. I'm not sleeping. After 5 days of not sleeping, I'm a little strung out. So I take a trazodone, a Benadryl, and a THC gummy. Don't do that. So I think I'm gonna sleep all the way through the night, but after 2 hours, I'm awake and I'm a little confused and my speech is really slow. So I tell my spouse, you better take me to the hospital. So from the ER, they roll me into the MRI room, and I can hear the technician saying to his coworker, oh, this could really be it, meaning this could be a real stroke this time. I come out of the MRI, and they say, oh, the MRI is clean. They run all these other tests, and they say, oh, you're fine. So I asked the doctor, what was it? He said, maybe it was a drug interaction. That's it? I fell on the ground. I broke my nose. I probably had a concussion. Doesn't it show up on the MRI? And I can't really taste my food. What's up with that? No answers. So, the next day, the neurologist comes and says to me, after talking a while, maybe you should take a little time off. And so I think about this last week. I was coaching a client, and I fell asleep while coaching them. That's never happened before. I am trying to think of questions to ask my client, and nothing is coming to mind. After the client says whatever they're saying, I say, that sounds good. Something is really off. So the next day, I call my manager and say, I better take some leave, and I go on disability. That began a 10-month-long journey into the Twilight Zone. I sank into a deep depression. I had no interest in anything. I tried to write, nothing came to mind. I had no interest in talking to people. I didn't want to make eye contact. I didn't even want to walk my dog. I tried to do some reading, but all I could really do was sit on the couch and read some easy detective novels, and I didn't really always follow the plot. So, what comes next, the brain says. So I wasn't really able to follow the plot. So then in January, I got my nose fixed, and I saw another psychiatrist. And I asked, well, what about a concussion? And he said, well, you know, if you have a concussion, we just really treat the symptoms. Well, we're treating your depression. And you know, if you try these antidepressants and they don't work, you can try TMS. Oh, and you should go get some cognitive testing as well. So the next day I called the cognitive testing place, and they say, oh yeah, we can get you in May in 5 months. And so I took the appointment. In May, I go for the cognitive testing. It's 4 hours of testing, and well, my brain must have been healing all those months sitting out on the couch, because the report comes back and it says that my cognitive function is normal, but I'm still profoundly depressed. So my spouse says, maybe you should try TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation. Sounds a little sci-fi. I'm like, what the heck, might as well do it. Now, insurance companies don't like to pay for TMS because it's very expensive, and they want to see that you've tried 2 kinds of antidepressants that have failed before they'll approve it. I'm like, hey, that's me. I've tried all these antidepressants, and they haven't done a darn thing. So they approved the TMS. So in June, I go into the TMS facility, and they have to map where they're going to put the magnetic pulse into my brain that's going to stimulate my mood center. And so they do that, and then they say, oh, we're going to give you your first treatment. Okay, great. So they put this big helmet on my head. Have you all ever seen the cone heads from SNL? Or maybe you've gone to the hair salon and you sat under that big hair dryer. Well, it's a little like that, but it's loud like an MRI. So it goes dong, 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 dong. And then your teeth clench, and it waits for 20 seconds, and then it comes again, dong, 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 dong. The nurse is like, it's a little like woodpeckers pecking at your head. I'm thinking, maybe. Now, it doesn't hurt, but there is a force. So most people, they need about 15 to 20 sessions before they start to feel an improvement. I had 1 session, and I was already sleeping better. I had to pause because I went to Colorado for a week and couldn't have another session. And while I was there, I noticed that my taste was coming back a little bit, and I was feeling a little more social, but I was still far from being my normal self. After the second treatment, I had so much energy, I ran around the house cleaning everything. I never clean my house. I felt so good. I started texting all my friends. I'm feeling better. I went outside to talk to strangers. That must mean I'm better. After the 4th session, I tried a nectarine. It tastes like a nectarine. I wasn't sure if I was imagining things, so I just ran around the house tasting things. Soy sauce. It tastes like soy sauce. Let me make up some eggs. Oh, it tastes like eggs. I was so relieved. I went to the grocery store and I bought all this stuff and I made whatever I could think of. Tzatziki, oh yeah. Sushi, all right. Chicken marsala. During this whole 10-month period, there was one thing that really scared me, and that was never being able to taste again. Never going grocery shopping, never enjoying cooking, never going to a fine restaurant. I felt like I could cope with a lot of things in life, but never tasting food again, I wasn't sure I could survive that. Reflecting back, I know that when I fell down and I broke my nose, I sustained a concussion. My brain smacked into my skull. I had all the post-concussion symptoms: sleeplessness, depression, cognitive confusion. You know, my mind went offline, but my body knew what to do. The body has its own intelligence. It knew to sit me on that couch, to shut me down and have me do nothing. It wouldn't let me exercise because it was worried I would fall again. It didn't let me expend extra energy talking to strangers. It knew what was required for me to heal. So today I want to thank my body for taking really good care of me. I am grateful because my mind, my brain has been able to heal. And I am profoundly grateful that not only have I come back to myself, but I am even more of myself. I have clarity, I have steadiness, I feel connected and present.